Snow fell silently over the town of Hollow Pine, coating the streets in a soft white glow. The air smelled of pine and cinnamon, and fairy lights blinked lazily on frosted rooftops. Christmas Eve was supposed to be peaceful, but that year, something was terribly wrong. Children whispered about it first. "Don't stay up to see Santa," they said. "He's not the same anymore." No one believed them, of course. 10-year-old Eli Turner was too old to believe in fairy tales, but not too old to stay awake and spy on his fireplace. His parents were at a Christmas Eve party across town, leaving him with his older sister Maya. The fire crackled in the living room while snow piled high outside. "Santa's not real," Maya said, scrolling through her phone. "Then who leaves the gifts?" Eli asked. "Mom and Dad, obviously." Eli fronet. "Then how do you explain the bell?" He pulled a small silver bell from his pajama pocket. It had appeared last year under the tree with a note written in looping red ink. "For being good, little one. See you next year." The bell jingled faintly, even when he held it still. By midnight, Maya had fallen asleep on the couch. The only sound were the ticking clock and the low hiss of the dying fire. Eli sat by the window, staring at the snow-covered driveway. That's when he saw the sleigh. It wasn't flying, it was parked at the end of the street, black against the snow. The reindeer stood unnaturally still, their heads twitching like marionettes. The sleigh was too large, the wood charred and splintered, the red paint flaking off like dry blood. A figure climbed down from it, tall, broad-shouldered, draped in a red coat so dark it looked soaked through. A sack hung over his shoulder, dragging across the snow with a heavy scrape. Eli ducked behind the curtain, heart pounding. Moments later, a soft thump came from the roof. Then footsteps, slow, heavy, coming from the chimney. The fire flickered out on its own. Smoke curled upward as ash sifted across the hearth. And then, a hand emerged from the fireplace. Not a gloved hand, but a bare, pale one, streaked with soot and something darker. The man in red crawled out, his beard matted with frost, his eyes black and hollow like burnt coal. His mouth stretched into a wide, cracked grin. "Ho, ho, ho," he rasped, each word scraping like metal on stone. Eli couldn't move, his throat locked tight. The figure straightened, brushing soot from his tattered coat. Bells hung from his belt, each one silent. He sniffed the air and smiled wider. "I smell naughty," he whispered. He dropped the sack onto the carpet. It writhed, as if something inside it was still moving. Eli stumbled backward, bumping into the coffee table. The sound made the figure turn sharply. His head jerked unnaturally, neck cracking like dry wood. "You stayed up to see me," the voice growled. "You shouldn't have." Eli darted behind the couch, shaking his sister awake. "Maya! Maya, get up!" Maya blinked, confused, until she saw him. The man in red. His shadow stretched across the wall, long and warped. What the hell?" she whispered. Santa tilted his head. "Language, child." He reached into his sack and pulled something out. It wasn't a toy. It was a doll, made of cloth and twine. But its face looked just like Eli's. The stitches across its mouth were still wet with red.